Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Leah and I upload videos twice a week about minimalism and eco-friendly living. If you are interested in these topics and want to see future videos, please subscribe to this channel. And today we're actually going to talk about these two topics and how minimalism and eco-friendly living work together and how they really do not work together. So maybe let's start with definitions. So minimalism for me is to get rid of every excess possessions, to live with what you need for your lifestyle, to get rid of clutter, to get rid of like mental clutter, digital clutter, and time-consuming activity clutter, things like that, so that you just have the things and the activities, the thoughts in your life that help you have the life that you want to have. And eco-friendly living, on the other hand, would be caring for this planet, trying to not have any waste if possible, not waste any resources, and be very conscious while consuming energy and other resources. When you become a minimalist, or if you're on your minimalist journey, usually you get rid of stuff. And if you do this in a respectful and sustainable way, it can actually be sustainable, because if you get rid of your stuff and give it back to like charity shops or secondhand shops, other people can use it. So you are giving resources back into the system that would otherwise be wasted because they're sitting around at your place not being used. So that is a way that minimalism and sustainable living really work together. And also, if you are like trying to be a minimalist, usually you really think about what you bring into your life, which makes you a more conscious consumer as well, which is good for the environment because you don't buy things you don't need, so you don't waste resources. And if you try to live an eco-friendly life, then usually you try to buy things that are good quality, and in general you try to not buy things you don't need, as well as you would do in minimalism. So when you try to buy like things from ethical and sustainable brands, that is good for the planet, but that is also good for being a minimalist, because usually it costs a lot more, so you aren't even able to afford as many things and as you would if you were like buying from cheap brands. But where you have to be careful is with thrifting, for example, because usually these like pieces of clothing, for example, you can buy secondhand, are really not expensive, and you find something and you really want to have it, but then you don't end up using it. But sustainable living is also about not like wasting resources, so usually your lifestyle gets more minimal. So these two work in this category really well, but there are a few things where it is actually hard and they really don't work together. So what I realized, for example, if you try to be very eco-friendly, I would keep all the packaging materials and all the glass jars, all of the like maybe even plastic waste I produce, to try to upcycle it, for example. But that ends in a huge pile of trash in my apartment that gives me anxiety, because it's far from minimalistic, it's taking up space, and the mountain is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I can't see myself upcycling all of these things. While it would be very eco-friendly to keep all of this and try to not produce any waste by like reusing, repurposing, like making new stuff out of it, upcycling, and just like keeping all of that thing that would otherwise be trash, I can't see myself doing that. I want to have a minimalistic life. For example, I have two backpacks. I have an everyday backpack and I have a traveling backpack, a smaller one and a bigger one. And for me, as the perfect minimalist, I would really love to have a backpack that could be both, so that I only would own one backpack. And I know a backpack that would do that for me, and I want to get it. But that's not very sustainable, because I already have two backpacks, and with these two backpacks I can do all of the things, and I would not need to waste any new resources. So I could just live my life with these two backpacks and everything would work. But the minimalist in me really wants to have that one backpack, so I don't have that extra item. And that works for other things as well. That works for upgrades. So I upgraded my really old laptop, and I like thought about it a long time, and I really did it when it almost fell apart, because I couldn't like open any programs anymore at that point. So I don't feel bad about that decision, but I bought a new not like sustainable laptop because I didn't know any sustainable laptop brands, and I didn't buy secondhand because I wanted to have a minimal, hardworking, very thin and light laptop. And for the secondhand items out there, these would be older models, so they would be heavier and not have as much of like battery life as a new one. So I made an unsustainable decision for my minimalist lifestyle. And what's maybe important here as well is that some people are not minimalists for any environmental reasons. So maybe the worst minimalist from an eco-friendly point of view would be the one that travels with a backpack around the world, flies every week, and just buys everything he or she needs in every spot and then dump it again because of the minimalist mindset. So you don't want to deal with your clutter or like use that much time to dispose it properly or to give it to somebody else. So just buy it, get rid of it, buy it, get rid of it, and in between flying around the world. I mean, that's a perfect minimalist. That works from a minimalist standpoint, but from a sustainability standpoint, it really doesn't work. So living very sustainably, on the other hand, would mean that you can't travel, that you can't be really mobile, because that's always using resources, that's always like having a bad impact on this planet if you're not walking or going by bike. And traveling in general, even if you are on your bike, usually if you don't have your routines, if you don't have like the bulk store you usually buy stuff at or things like that in your surrounding, you will create more waste just because you're not in your like everyday environment. I think these two can work together quite fine, because there are also a lot of people that start with one of these and end up like doing the other thing as well. So for myself, for example, I started with minimalism, and sustainable living became really important really fast. And I think these two work together in my life, but there are a few times where I really do struggle, where I really think like, if I'm doing that for minimalism, I'm really ignoring my principles for sustainable living here. And on the other hand, if I'm trying to be completely sustainable, that's really not minimalistic. Also from a maybe mental minimalism state, it really requires more energy, more thoughts, more like, it makes me maybe feel bad more often because I try to live both of these lifestyles. And I mean, I would always encourage everybody to also care for the environment if you're a minimalist, or to also try to be a little more minimalistic if you're already sustainable, because both of these things have huge positive impacts on your life. But on the other hand, don't try to be, or you don't have to be a perfect minimalist or a perfect environmentalist, because I don't think you can be both at the same time in a perfect way. Or maybe, please tell me if you have an idea how to combine these and live the perfect minimalist, sustainable lifestyle. Let me know what you think, or if you have had any problems with these two, or if you had any situations where you like really decided against one of these for the other one. Please let me know, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!